Hi there, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. And I decided that today I would do a video just to show you how I do an abundance grid, and I do a little abundance box for myself, or a little treasure chest. Now, you can do this at any time. Um, Different belief systems, or pantheons, or whatever you want to call it, have got different ideas on when it's a good time to do this. I like to do it around full moon and new moon, or just either one of those, so that you do it like once a month and you refresh the energy a bit. I unpack them and I redo them. So you can decide. Some people use Sunday as a good day as well, because this is associated with abundance, the sun, warmth, money, all of the colors and those kind of things also correlate. And then some people think that it's good to do it on a Wednesday, because that's a good day for abundance and prosperity. So you do whatever you feel. I also don't think that there should be any rigidity, and I want to stress that when you do this, in terms of what you use, in terms of what crystals you want to use. If you use crystals or not, go according to what you enjoy, what you use, and what your belief system is, and what works for you. Okay, and you can experiment and try a different one every month and see what happens. So what I wanted to show you today, first and foremost, is an abundance grid. If you want to be using an abundance grid, this is for my little abundance box that I will do in just a little while. The abundance grid is a grid that is used where we place crystals on a grid in a particular way that is supposed to basically emanate this crystal energy in a specific sequence, so to speak, that is going to be sending off really positive vibes and is going to be attracting abundance. Okay, so a lot of people will just put their crystals on the abundance grid. I add a couple of other things to it, and I like to make sure that I light a candle with it, so that I'm actually activating the grid. Okay, so if you know anything about grids or sigils or anything like that, then you will know that it's a good idea to usually light a candle or add something that gives some form of energy. Obviously, candles give off energy, so this is a good thing to kind of add to whatever it is that you're doing. I am just looking for my lighter, because I wanted to light the candle while I'm doing this for you. There we go. Okay. All right. So what I do, and I stress this is what I do, this is not what you have to do. All right. And I'm going to try and find one of these and send a link below, so that you can actually print one off if you want to. You can draw your own, you can create your own, you can do a grid just out of crystals. You don't need a picture, and you just do whatever you feel you want to do. Start with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put another few crystals between it, whatever you want to do. Okay, you can copy this without having the actual grid if that's what you want to do. This one works pretty well for abundance. Okay, it's based on the flower of life, which you will notice it's also using things like the power of three, which anything amplified 3 times usually is more powerful. I'm sure you've all heard about the power of three. So these kind of little nuances add to what you're doing, because everything's about intention. It doesn't really depend on the tools that you use. And that's why I say there's no place for rigidity. So please remember that whatever you've got, whatever you can use, obviously not everybody's can afford certain things. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing abundance and prosperity, energy work and stuff. So I don't expect you to have everything around that I might have. You might have things that I don't have. You might have more than I have. That's fine. Okay, you use what you have available to you, and your intention is more important than anything. Please know that the tools are not as important as the intention. Yes, there's certain things that can help, but they're not set in stone. That's not going to not work if you don't do that. Your intention and how simple and direct it is most important. Okay, so with the abundance grid, I usually put it onto something where I can kind of not have the candle causing too much damage once I light it. I just use a little tea light candle for this. And what you'll do is, if you've got any other intentions or things you're working on, like this is a very specific sigil to a goal I've been working on for a long time, I'll usually put that underneath it. And I also have this little statement that I actually got from Jake Ducey. He's like a inspirational speaker. I don't really listen to him anymore, but when I first started working on things like this, there was just this phrase that he used, that he uses as like a mantra or meditation, and it worked really well for me to get me into a place where I was more abundant than I was previously. So this says here, I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me in abundance from many different sources on a continuous basis. I give my talents with love and I am wonderfully blessed financially. That's what his usually says. With this one, I actually wrote, I'm wonderfully blessed in return. Amen. Okay, or amen. I use amen not only for religious reasons or anything like that, but amen is a very ancient word that means I declare it to be so. And that's why I like to use amen with everything that I do. Again, you do it with your belief system, whatever language you speak. There's no rigidity here. Okay, and I didn't use it with a religious connotation. I used it to say, I declare this to be so. If you are pagan, you will say, so mote it be. Okay, whatever your phrase is that you want to use to declare it is perfect. So now you have your grid there, and the stone that I put in the center is usually pyrite. Okay, some of the pyrite actually looks like a square, like a golden square. This one has got, it's a little bit of a different pyrite, but it's in there in the center to attract wealth and abundance. And then we have aventurine and citrine. Okay, so in the second row, I place the aventurine stones. These are all associated with abundance. So you can use any green or any gold stones, any gold meaning yellow. So you're looking at pyrite, aventurine, citrine, amazonite, malachite, yellow jasper, jade. All of these are going to work. And if you ever want to amplify something, you can use some clear quartz. Okay, so there is your aventurine in making the first circle or the first grid around that, and then we've got the little citrines. And citrine obviously is one of the most prominent stones associated with abundance. So you make sure that they're all radiating outwards, because that's what you want to do. You want to radiate this intention and attract this abundance that's coming in. And that's it. And then what I do is I usually will light a tea light candle next to it. Okay, so I have this little burner actually where I, this will activate a sigil like this one that's underneath. It will activate an abundance grid. It just gives it a bit of additional energy. So I'll just take a little tea light candle and I will light it, and I will say, I light this candle to activate my sigil or my bind rune, and as well as the abundance grid. Just a minute, my hands and the candle don't both fit in there. Okay, and sometimes I'll actually burn something on top, like now I'll put some frankincense resin, or if you have a normal burner, like let me just show you, like this one for instance, where you've got a tea light candle underneath and you've got some salts and you're burning some oils. You can absolutely use that. You can use the ones where you put water in the top here with just a few drops of oil. You can use just a candle. Okay, I just like things that smell nice all the time, so I'm always burning essential oils and those kinds of things. But if you've just got a little tea light candle or just a normal candle with a candlestick, absolutely fine. That's it. Okay, so that's your abundance grid for the month. You leave it to do its thing. You've set your intention. You can do a little prayer, again, whatever your belief system is, or whatever it is that you do or want to do or you feel like doing. You know, the best thing to do is to actually follow whatever you are led to do in that moment. So if you all of a sudden say a prayer, or you find a stone and you think, I want to add that, do whatever you feel. Okay, then the abundance box. I've got one that actually looks like a little treasure chest here. And you don't have to. You can have just a little wooden box. It can be a cheap little wooden box. It can be another little trinket box. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, again, there's no rigidity here. And I have written some intentions down again. So I've said money comes to me in abundance from many different sources on a continuous basis. I give my talents with love and I'm wonderfully blessed financially. Amen. So it's the same one I have for the abundance grid. And I say here, I have all the resources I need to be financially comfortable and travel freely worldwide, because that is something that I would love to do. and maybe meet my clients and stuff as I go along the way. All right, so now you add some money to it. If you don't have a lot of money, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the coin's not from your country, because you could, again, remember you're saying money comes to me from many different sources on a continuous basis. So open yourself up to that. I use money from all over the world because I've got coins that come from all over. Where does this come from? Mozambique. Some of you might not even have heard of that. That's a South African 50 cents. This is a euro, a Great Britain pound. Some of these coins don't even get used anymore. This is Italy. 20p from the UK again, and a quarter from the States. A quarter. Okay, so what I've also put in, I'm going to put in a piece of malachite, which is actually an egg. Eggs are associated with abundance and fertility. This was a gift to me, and malachite is ideal for this kind of thing. I'm then also going to put in, I've got these little golden Buddhas, and they attract prosperity and abundance. So I put them into my box so that they can keep that happy vibe. I've got a Ganesha. So this is a Hindu god, the elephant god. I'm sure you're all quite familiar with him. He removes obstacles, and he also brings in abundance and prosperity. So I put my little Ganesha in there. And then I add some crystals. So I've got some rough citrine here that I'm going to put in. I've got a tumbled or polished citrine. I've got a citrine bracelet that I don't want to wear too often because I'm scared I'll break it. So I found another use for it. I've also got some amber. Remember your green and gold stones. There's some amber going in there. A little piece of citrine that broke off of something else. So again, I found a use for it. And then finally, I put a clear quartz in. Your clear quartz, if you're into crystals, I'm not saying you have to use crystals. You can just put the money in. You can just put the Buddhas in. You can use other things that represent abundance and money from your particular belief system. If you want to put runes in there, you can put Feihu in there if you're into the Norse runes, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter, whatever speaks to you. And then here I've put a clear quartz, because clear quartz amplifies any crystal that you're actually putting in with it. Okay, so it just amplifies that energy. You can put it standing up too, because this is like an activator. Wherever it points to is supposed to kind of send the energy out. So I'll put it like that. But that's basically it. So you leave your little abundance box. You can close the abundance box too if you want to keep it safe. Whatever the case is, if you don't want anybody to know what it is. I keep mine open because it's here on my desk and I just like it open, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, so you can put those two out, or put them wherever you want to. It doesn't matter where you really place them. If you're into feng shui, you can put them into a place where it says is the best going to be for in your particular home to attract abundance, whatever you want to do. Okay, but that's basically it. So that is how you make a little abundance box and an abundance grid. Your intention is the most important thing. And then you just use little props basically, or symbols for money and abundance to reinforce that. Okay, and this is what is going to work for you. All right, and some of you can, if you want to, report how that works out for you. See if you find that you've got more money. One last thing that I want to say or show you as well is to use a bay leaf. Okay, if we need money out of need and not greed, I have to stress that. I can't stress it enough. This is when you need money quickly, and you need it out of need and not greed. Okay, and I did find this originally, this particular bind rune, from a woman on Instagram, and I cannot for the life of me remember her name, and I can't find her on Instagram, but she really needs all the credit for this particular symbol as well, or this particular sigil. So this little bay leaf has unfortunately lost a corner, but it really doesn't matter. What we're going to do now is, and you'll have to just excuse, it's a little bit messy with my smudge stick in there, but you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. So we take a bay leaf when we need something urgently. We need some money, we're in dire straits, we have to pay our kids' school fees, whatever the case is, all right? And we're going to now set an intention with this bay leaf to get some money quickly and out of need and not greed. So this is what the bind rune looks like that you will draw on your bay leaf, preferably in red. Runes are from the Norse pantheon. They're quite powerful. And this is a bind rune, which means there's a couple of runes within this that have been used to create this particular imagery. Okay, so what we've used is we've used Fehu, which is the one associated with money, abundance, and then we've used Algiz as well, which is like a protection one, but it also talks about things that are valuable or important to us. And they've used a couple of other runes here. Turesaz is there as well, which is about overcoming obstacles again. Okay, and this is very much the current energy. But say, for instance, you want to buy an air ticket. Okay, so you will say air ticket and write down how much you need. I'm writing in my currency, okay, which is very bad. So don't judge me. All right. So I'm wanting to do the air ticket. You don't have to write too much on there. You can also use other symbols if you like to kind of emphasize this. You can write a dollar sign on it, anything to do with money, whatever it is. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab something that is not going to burn your fingers, because a bay leaf can burn really quickly and it crackles. Okay, but your intention now is most important. So this is what you need to focus on. You're burning this leaf with its intention on, for it to go up into the ether and for the powers that be to receive your message. Okay, so when you're burning this, you're mindful of this all the time. You burn it and you're leaving this to go up into the ether, and you're saying, I want 30,000 Rand out of need and not greed, because I would like to travel and I deserve to travel. And I ask that the powers that be hear this and assist me with my wish. And so it is. Amen. Or whatever you want to say. So mote it be. Again, whatever your intention is. You can do this outside if it's not too windy. Otherwise, bay leaves actually smell quite pleasant, and to burn a bay leaf in your immediate area is actually quite protective, and it cleanses the air. It's good to burn bay leaves when you've got people who are sick in the home, and just to clear that air, kill some germs. So it's absolutely fine to burn a bay leaf, especially if it's just one in your room, in your living area, whatever it is. Perfectly fine. You then have sent it out into the ether. It's burnt up into the ether, and your message has gone off. Then you forget about it, okay? Because how it comes about is not up to you. That's not your business. You've set your intentions, you've done your grids, whatever it is that you've done. You don't have to also do all of these things. If all you can afford is a bay leaf, if you can't afford a bay leaf, go and ask your neighbor for one. Start doing these things to get yourself into a place of abundance. Like I said, not all of us have the money to do this. Not all of us can go and print off a grid. Not all of us have tea light candles. Work with what you've got, because you're not doing this because you've got spans of money. You're doing this because you need money, or you need your business to take off. Okay. I also do the energy session for clients and money to be attracted to your business like bees to honey. If you're interested in that and you are a business owner, please let me know. Otherwise, if you've got any other questions, feel free to comment here or to send me a message. I'll leave all my details below, and I'm going to try my best to find a link for a picture of a grid like this for anybody who wants to actually print one off. But remember, you don't need to print one. You can just lay your crystals on a piece of paper or something. If you have them, they don't have to be large crystals. They don't have to be these crystals. You can use what you've got. If it's green or gold, or you can use coins maybe, or one coin in the middle. Use your imagination. Do what feels right for you. Go with your gut. That's when it really works well. Okay, there's no place for rigidity here, and you need to use your imagination, use your instincts, and that's what's going to work best. All right, I really hope that this has been a helpful video for you. I wish you all lots of love. I wish you abundance and prosperity, because you deserve it. Okay, we've been brainwashed to think that we should not be abundant and wealthy, and that is just nonsense. If we are all abundant, if we learn how to be abundant, we can help others to be abundant. It is our duty to be abundant and to be wealthy and to enjoy our lives and be able to afford the things we want to do on this planet in order to be living more fully. Okay, so you need to know that, because we've been brainwashed with things that money doesn't grow on trees. You know, my money flows away like water. Money should flow like water, because money has the energy of flowing. It flows in and it flows out all of the time. It's a renewable resource that needs to be given away in order to come back to you. And it's very, very important that you also know that it's you have to be saying, I'm so happy and grateful, because you need to be sending out gratitude so that it can be returned to you in the form of abundance. This is almost like a little scientific equation. Okay, gratitude is equal to abundance. If you give out gratitude and it really comes from your heart and you feel that elevated, exciting emotion, and you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, I'm so grateful for what's just happened or for what I have, that is what's going to be returned to you as abundance. The universe says, oh, you're grateful. Okay, we'll give you more, because we love to see gratitude. Okay, so I hope these little tips have helped you. I wish you everything of the best with making your grids and your boxes and burning your bay leaves. And may you be abundant and prosperous always.